This episode of So Preeti is brought to you by Nanotech Resource Distribution Network, makers of Buckyballs. Buckyballs, the world's chosen polymer for today's Molecutron. Download our latest food product algorithm, synthetic spaghetti. When it's got to be right, it's got to be Buckyballs. NRDN, a member of the Lakshmi Ambani Group.
The year is 2027. Exponential progress in computational might, biotechnology, and nanotechnology has finally brought about the long-awaited singularity, and given new meaning to the pithy phrase "we're all robots now." Indeed, in the spring of 2027, it is true, on April 17th, at approximately 8:45 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the entire human population of the Earth successfully uploaded themselves into the cloud. For those that choose to live as near to traditional human lives as possible, their one option is to download themselves into one's unique manifestation. Ironically, the Honda Model 500 self-replicating robots are all virtually identical, except for the various attempts that these self-aware robots are able to gussy themselves up to try and stand out from the crowd of 1.7 billion robots now inhabiting the post-singularity world. Preeti Krishnamurti and Gerry Shillencamp are an unlikely couple. She's an aspiring actress who leaves a trail of smitten suitors in her robot wake. Meanwhile, he's an elementary school teacher who has to take a myriad of odd jobs just to pay the rent on their modest studio apartment. Let's drop by their apartment and see what kind of nutty occurrences have transpired in their robot lives.
Honey, I'm home. Gerry? Are you home?
Lava buttons.
I had a hell of a day today, honey. I was at a casting call for nearly 4 hours. Not even a sandwich to be found at that shithole of a studio. Those bastards.
I'm sorry to hear you had a rough day. I've got just the thing for you when you are ready to eat. How does synthetic spaghetti washed down with a glass of your favorite Merlot sound? If you are extra nice to me, I might even give you foot rub. Would you like a foot rub, Preeti?
A foot rub sounds absolutely divine, my dear. However, I think it will be more pleasant for both of us if I first blow the dust off my entire casing. You know what I mean, lover boy?
I sure do. I just blew all the stinking dust off my casing before you got home. In fact, I'm a little embarrassed to say that I was thinking about you as I was getting blown in the hygiene device.
Were you now? Sounds like somebody has been feeling a little frisky.
Preeti, I can't keep anything from you now, can I, girl? Next thing I know, you'll have a direct connect lightning data plug stuck up my through port.
And Gerry, would you find that so objectionable?
If you promise to sing in that sweet voice of yours while you insert the data cable, you little rascal you.
And what have you been up to all day, Mr. Shillencamp? Besides thinking of me as you luxuriate in the hygiene device, have you accomplished anything significant?
Funny you should ask, Miss Krishnamurti. There was no school today, so I just went in to help a little with the art club. A lot of these less mature OS children show some real talent, you know. Then again, some just recreate derivative drivel, real stiff, not very authentic. But enough about my day, dear. Tell me more about this audition. It sounds as though it was particularly time consuming, yes?
Well, I got there just at the call time, you know. I walk in the from lobby, and there are like 30 or 40 other Asian actresses there. I tell you, I get tired of this stereotyping. As I looked around the lobby, I recognized at least 20 other women with whom I invariably show up with at the other casting calls around town. You know, the ones looking for the next almond-eyed, dark-haired, mysterious Asian beauty. I tell you, it is becoming really irritating.
Oh boy, that is quite a dilemma there, Preeti. Shouldn't we all have that problem? You'll remember my last moonlighting job, you know? That one where I was expected to carry out those plutonium fission rods from the cooling tank? Trust me, Preeti, when it comes to bummer work conditions, having to endure being stereotyped as an Asian beauty doesn't hold a candle to schlepping out extremely hot radioactive material, my dearest prima donna.
Well, I suppose you have a point there, Gerry. I really do need to try and gauge my frustrations more in terms of the real world, I suppose. And yet, sometimes I wonder what all this effort at finding my definitive acting role is all about, you know. Should I even be acting? You know, Gerry, I often hear the people who judge these auditions. These people often tell me to try and act more naturally. Gerry, do you believe that? Act more natural? What do these people want? Sometimes I think they would respect me more if I were to just go out there, you know, out on the stage, and just take a big shit right on the floor. Just shit on the stage. Then they are sure to see my vulnerability. Gerry, what do you think about my plan to just drop a shit right on the stage? At least I will no longer just be considered the beautiful, albeit somewhat stiff actress. No, Gerry. From that moment on, I will have garnered a new identity. I will be the hot, sexy Asian actress who also happened to take a shit on the stage. Suddenly, Gerry, I am beginning to feel empowered. Do you know what I mean?
Preeti, I'm trying to fully understand you and your acting frustrations. And if I understand you correctly, what you are getting at, what you are expressing here, is that for you, when it gets right down to it, for you to, well, act in a decidedly natural fashion, to really break through that fourth wall, as they say, for you as an actress, Preeti, this might very well require you to, well, how else am I gonna say this? You'd need to defecate upon the stage? Is that the gist of what you are saying here, Preeti?
That's exactly what I'm saying here, Gerry. It's all coming clear to me now. Somehow, on this magical evening, I have stumbled upon the very strategy that will set me free, Gerry. I'm glad you are here to witness this, Gerry. I have a feeling that my career is going to take on a new dynamism. There will be Preeti's acting career before, and there will be Preeti's career after she took a shit on the stage. I'm getting goosebumps about this, Gerry. I have a feeling that this new development will open doors regarding a hell of a lot more variety in the acting roles that will come my way. What do you think? Do you think this is going to open more doors, Gerry?
It's a little bit difficult for me to gauge, actually, Preeti. There is definitely an element of risk. It sort of reminds me of when that Bob Dylan fellow decided that he'd just as soon play an electric guitar. Pete Seeger was genuinely upset by all accounts. To be sure, Dylan's strategy was perhaps less bold than, well, crapping on the stage. But my point is that you're never gonna satisfy everyone. You're definitely going to have the two camps. Acoustic? Electric? Or in your case, shitting on stage versus not shitting on stage. It's really that simple. Well, actually, it's perhaps not that simple. I'd give it some serious thought. Maybe even sleep on it. Shall we just put that whole issue aside for now and assemble our spaghetti in the Molecutron?